How are you doing, everybody? I'm back with another video, and you know what it's about, Jordan? I don't know. Minnkota?
Yeah.
Let's do a Minnkota video. Let's do the top 5 things I see problems with Minnkota, which aren't really Minnkota problems, maybe? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, it could be, definitely. All right, so this is what we're gonna talk about. We're just gonna talk about the problems that we see with Minnkota and what you can do to address those problems, because most of the time, I personally don't feel that it's a Minnkota issue. Some of the stuff could be an issue, but that stuff is probably, a lot of it I'm not even gonna talk about. So what we're gonna talk about today is we're just gonna grab the 5 things that I see, the most common things I see fail in trolling motors. All right, let's start with the Ultrex. Okay, let's do the Ultrex, very common trolling motor. I think one of the things I do see, which is probably no fault to the consumer, would be the steering motors fail. The steering motor physically, the motor itself, and the steering switch underneath the pedal. That one fails quite a bit. They did change that ribbon inside that switch underneath the pedal. Probably most of you already have that done, taken care of. You probably already had the sensor switch changed out. I see more steering motors in Ultrexes than any other ones except for the Altera, but the Ultrex steering motor itself does go bad. Then I think we can fall back into kind of what we had on a short, and we kind of had a mini short there on the control board. And the control board failure that we're seeing on these usually has nothing to do with the trolling motor. If it does have something to do with the trolling motor, I think guys are charging, you're plugging your boats in and you're leaving your breakers on, and then that charge is circulating up through the trolling motor and kind of cooking some foot pedal stuff, which is kind of fault to the people. Disconnect or unplug when you're charging. Make sure we're doing that. The other one is, of course, the control board, like I was talking about. When we were talking about a control board, we did a short green. Anybody that has a recessed foot pedal, if you have a recessed foot pedal, your Ultrex is in that foot pedal recessed, make sure that comes out. Like every month, you unscrew it and physically take it out, and make sure that your drains are taken care of, and make sure there's not a bunch of weeds, I mean, I've taken them apart. I think we even did a big picture on that one time. I took it apart. Really, literally looked like a bird made a nest in there. Just solid weeds. Those vents are on the bottom to allow that heat to come out of there, guys. So we got to make sure we're taking that and cleaning that area. A bunch of tube jigs and salt baits laying inside there, not good for the control board. A lot of times some of these trolling motors are under warranty, and Minnkota is very good about taking care of their customers. They take care of them with warranty. If it was me, I probably wouldn't warranty some of these things, but when it fails and we issue the warranty for it because it's under warranty, we warranty it for a failure to the board. It's a failure to the board, and it is a completely sealed board, but it's exposed to the elements. I mean, when you come out to your boat and the foot pedal is under water, how do you expect it to work when there's electricity there? Just maintain that. Just take your drain, clean it out, take care of all that stuff. Altera, let's jump into the Altera. That's a very popular trolling motor. We see a lot of, but it is probably the most repaired trolling motor that we work on. It's a trolling motor that gets the most work, and I think a lot of it has to do with consumer not understanding what they have, okay? I'm a firm believer that trolling motor was built for a deep reservoir or lake with no weeds, no stumps, no nothing, just really deep. It'll work all day long, all the time. If you get it in the weeds, clean the weeds off before you try to lift it. It's not designed to lift 80 pounds of weeds with the trolling motor. It will say no, it'll stop, it will get stuck and it'll say no. If you are going and traveling and you're on the big motor and you're going 5 miles an hour upstream with it down, and I know a lot of people do it, I see it all the time, and you think you can stow that thing. That is not designed to do that. So just slow down, stop, stow the trolling motor. If you're in the stumps and you're beating the crap out of it, bouncing off stumps, and think it's going to stow, it's probably not going to stow while you're bouncing off stumps like a pool table. It's not going to work that way. If you're in the middle of a deep lake and you're not hitting anything and you decide to stow, it'll probably stow every time, and it'll work every time. That trolling motor, I feel, is probably a great trolling motor if used correctly. So basically, guys, if you have an Altera, make sure there's no weeds on it before you stow. I know you're sitting in the back of the boat and you're like, well, how am I supposed to know if there's weeds? You just got to walk to the front of the boat. If you go to stow it and it starts to pause, hit pause, deploy, go up there, take a look at it. That's one of the biggest things, is that we get them come in and they're stuck halfway, or they're twisted sideways and wedged in there. And all we do is literally take them back down, reset them, recount them, reset everything, and they work just fine. We do replace a lot of trim motors on them and steering motors, but I think a lot of that's got to do with bouncing off stumps and trees and all that stuff and wrecking stuff. And there's sensors on these guys. There's literally trim and stow and deploy sensors that tell it where it's at, how it's working, and when those get abruptly stopped or cannot get past the point as it's supposed to be counted, that's going to be a problem. When it goes to lift, it counts that, and then when it gets to the top, it pulls it in. If it is being slowed down for any one purpose, it's going to say no, shouldn't do that. So those are just things that are built into that thing to protect it, and it's not like it's a bad trolling motor. It's just sometimes user error. Wiring, I think there's a lot of wiring issues in boats that people think it's trolling motor. They go from their 1989 Bass Tracker that came with a 12-volt trolling motor, and they throw a 36-volt on it and think the wire in the boat's going to be okay and the breaker in the back. Not okay. Make sure you get that updated. If you're putting a 3624 on, you had a 12-volt, make sure the wiring in the boat is the correct gauge for what you're doing. Make sure the breaker in the back is set up for what you're doing. If you're doing a plug, make sure your plugs are set correctly. Make sure you're using a 1224 or a 36-volt plug for what you're doing gauge-wise and plug quality. And that's another big thing. Them plastic rubber plugs that just fold in with a little flipper thing, throw them in the garbage. Get yourself a good little twist lock plug. I mean, you want something that's going to be rigid, sturdy, and able to handle the beating you're going to give it. So that's another thing. I think when we talk about the edge, back to the edge days, there wasn't many problems with an edge. You just didn't have many problems. Foretrex, we had bushing problems. There were a lot of bushing problems inside the R on the brackets. The brackets had bushings, and even the Ultrex had some bushing issues. I'm just rambling on. I think I went past 5, didn't I? I'm on probably 7 right now. But none of these are critical, I don't think, to what happens, guys. I think Minnkota makes a great trolling motor. I think that in the whole world, in the whole line of trolling motors in general, Power Pole, Garmin, and Lowrance included, and of course we got the other group called Motor Guide, I think they're all going to have issues, and I think a lot of it stems from neglect from consumer. I really do. The armatures in the lower unit, if I was Minnkota, I wouldn't warranty a armature. If there is water, I would say no. It's failed seal. Well, when there's 6 feet of fishing line wrapped around it, it's a consumer problem. You didn't take your prop off. Take your nut off, take your prop off, hold the pin, grab the weeds in the line, take it off, throw it in the garbage, inspect your seals, looks good, put your prop back on, go down. We always call it the dipstick, the bottom one on the bottom screw. Take and loosen up your bottom screw. They sell a little O-ring kit. You pull that out, no water comes out, put the O-ring back in, slide it in, tighten it up. You just check to see if there's any water in your lower. Simple maintenance, simple consistency to taking care of your, if you think about it, your trolling motor probably takes the most abuse on your boat if you're a bass fisherman, right, in shallow water, because that thing is grinding and getting the crap kicked out of it all day long. So maintain that thing. Make sure you're taking a look at that stuff. I think when it comes to Maxims was a great trolling motor. The Foretrex was a great trolling motor. We didn't see a lot of Maxim problems like the Max 80s, lift assist trollers, and we didn't see a lot of Foretrex problems still to this day. I know a lot of those trollers are gone, but they are on tin boats, flat boats, and stuff like that. So we just don't see a lot of problems with them. Not like we do with the Ultrex, but there's a ton of Ultrexes out there. That's really what I got on trolling motor wise, but I think it just comes down to general maintenance. You have a recessed foot pedal, make sure you're taking that out of the recess, making sure there's not a bunch. I mean, I guarantee you guys, if you go to your recesses right now, I bet you 50% of you are going to pull that pedal out and there's going to be weeds, there's going to be soft plastics, there's going to be rubber, I mean, there's going to be shit piled up, sticks, and you'll see them vents in the bottom. Make sure all that shit, just take the time to take the screws out of the bottom, even just open it up and go, holy crap, I gotta clean that shit out of there. It's a simple thing you can do at home. It's a simple thing for longevity. Make sure your drains are cleaned in your recess, right? Make sure all that stuff's taken care of. Make sure cables are tensioned correctly, not over tight, not loose so it's flopping around. And like I always say, take it to your Minnkota service guy and just have them go through it. It's a great time of the year when you get into the off season to have them service your trolling motor. And you're like, what, service my trolling motor? Yeah, take it in and get it just checked over. Hey, can you check my trolling motor over top to bottom? Bring it on the boat, bring it loose, and just have it checked over, make sure it gets all serviced. It's not like you're greasing anything or changing oil, but you can check cable tension. You can make sure wires aren't chafing. You can make sure your plugs are all good. You can make sure bushings are good. I mean, we can just go on and on about it. Make sure we can test, make sure there's no water in the lower, and you can put a seal kit in the lower for you. They do make seal kits for them. So there's just a lot of maintenance that goes on with that. But I think at the end of the day, if you maintain it, it's like anything that's gonna last forever. So, but some stuff you can't, I understand you can't prevent. I think it comes down to the last thing that I was gonna want to talk about with all these trolling motors is the GPS, the spot locking. We do see probably more now than in the last like 5 years. There's spot locking issues coming out. Not saying that they're the new trolling motors, could be older trolling motors where they're spot locking and it can't find home. It's out freaking doing the S move and it's never locked in. It can't lock in no matter where they're at. A lot has to do with the GPS head sensor on top. But it's all stuff that can be taken care of. Make sure your connections are clean on everything. That's a big deal. Make sure your batteries are updated and they are the same age. You can't have one that's 8 years old and one that's brand new and think everything's gonna work. It just doesn't work that way. Change out your batteries, make sure they're all the same age. If you're changing one, change two or change three. Get them all done at the same time. I know it's an expense, but it's going to get you the quality of what you purchased when you bought the trolling motor. I'm not gonna put a brand new Ultrex on and change one brand new 36. We're gonna change one battery and leave two ones in there, or partially that have been in there for 3 years. That just doesn't do justice, guys. Make sure that, and Minnkota will probably say that if you call them. I know they'll say that. How old are your batteries? Are they date matched? And most people say, well, no, I got one that's brand new and two that are old. Well, they're not gonna do anything until you get 3 new batteries and make sure they're all the same age. And that's just smart. That's just smart business. So just maintain. Maintenance is the biggest thing, I think, on these trolling motors, Jordan. What do you got? Anything?
Are you seeing any problems with the new Quest models? Yeah.
No, I haven't really seen many problems. I think we had one US. I don't think we had many problems at all. No, I don't know. I'm not seeing many, but there's not a lot out there yet. I think they're out there, but they're just not being swapped over yet. I think people are waiting a little bit longer. Probably next year, I think will be a Quest year. I think guys will start really ordering some Quests. But no, nothing really. And it's basically at the end here, we got merch, of course. Make sure you get over, check this stuff out. Is it here? Where the hell is it? Over here? Right here. It's like right here. New merch, OG from last time. I didn't even know it was there. I guess it was floating around over here. Tells you how much I watch my own videos. So the OG was there last week. We got the new skull. Make sure you get over there, check that stuff out. Get on there, click on some stuff. I think what we'll do is, we don't have anything new coming down the block. Those are the new ones. We're done for a little while. So that's gonna be your new stuff for a little while. Make sure you get over, check that out. I think that's it. That's all I got for you. A little quick short video today. Make everybody's Friday a fun day so they can just click, sit, and get back to work, if you know what I'm saying. One last thing, thoughts and prayers to everybody that is affected by the hurricane. Florida, North Carolina got rocked. Everybody just take a moment. Make sure all those people out there are being taken care of. If you're in North Carolina, you're in Florida, I send everything I can and thoughts and prayers to you. I hope you're doing fine. Hope your family is well. I hope you're recovering. Remember, as long as the family's healthy, you're healthy, you survived, all your objects are replaceable. So just keep that in mind. Keep positive, stay going. Things will turn out good. I promise you in the end, if you just keep pushing and stay positive. Like I say, always just keep pushing forward. Everything will be fine. All your objects are replaceable. Our bodies aren't. So let's just stay focused on that. And like I said, make sure you just take some time, comment thoughts and prayers to those people. Comment, just try to get them uplifted the best we can. That's it. That's all I got, Jordan. You?
Good.
Gonna be a good weekend?
Yep.
Good. Awesome. As always, comment, subscribe, and click notification bell to witness the madness that I hope everybody in Minnkota, Minnesota is now saying. Speed, money, no brakes. Take care of your trolling motors. It's all about maintenance. I'm out. See ya.